Welcome to self-discoverywisdom.com, formerly known as Self-Discovery Media. On these podcasts, you're going to hear people who speak from the heart. They've taken the journey in life. Many things have happened to them, but they've changed it to happening for them. And in their strength, their courage, they've discovered their abilities and their wisdom, and they are now sharing it here with you. Do enjoy each show. We bring it to you with love and knowing that it's going to help you on your journey of life. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Sarah's View of Life, right here on selfdiscoverywisdom.com. I'm your host, Sarah Troy. Well, what is your body language telling you? Right now, I'm scratching my nose. It says I have an itchy nose. And I'm sure there's a meaning behind that. But, very often we're listening to what people's words are, and we're concentrating on the words. But are we listening to the tone? Are we only listening to the content and not in the way it's spoken? Are we listening to what the body is saying? There is so much to take in when we are meeting people. And there are some people that are very eloquent speakers, and they are very, very good at the art of speech. But very often we feel they're empty words. Do they actually believe what they're saying, or is it something they spiel so often there is no connection to it? What's their body saying? What are their eyes saying? What is their tone saying? All of this is important. But they say that 55% of your presentation, the moment you walk through the door, is how you present yourself. Are you at one and at ease within your own skin? Now, somebody who's a jeans and t-shirt person, you suddenly put them into an Armani suit, they're not going to represent. They're going to be fiddling with the collar and they just don't know how to represent the suit. However, they come in, nice t-shirt, good jeans, and they really represent themselves in a way that is authentically them. You can feel their charisma, you can feel their authenticity, their aura. As they walk in, you're going to pay attention with at least 38% of the tone of voice in which you speak. If you come in rah, rah, and abrasive, I think it pushes people right back and go, I'm not in for this. But if you come in with a tone that is rhythmic and engaging and allows people to almost move forward in order to hear you, then you have got a captured audience for your 7% of content, because nobody's going to hear that content if they haven't bought the other percentage. So how do we speak from our own persona? Well, you hear me say it all the time, take expectation and dictation out of it. We want people to be authentic. We want them to be themselves. We want to feel their passion. We want to know that they're in it for the right reason. That this is their passion, their conviction, their meaningful purpose, that they really truly believe in it, and they really want to help you with whatever it is they have. So how are they coming across? Now, I talked about this in a show with Linda Nadell about the tap being on a few drips. And sometimes you're with people that they're not ready for the full tap. So a few drips or let a stream of water gently kind of filling up their cup so that they can switch their own frequency to yours. If you come on with full water blasting, sometimes, it's too much for them. They're not ready for it. So know your audience, know whom you are speaking with. Are you speaking to them in a way that they're open and receptive? Do they know how to change those knobs and change channels? Or are you coming on too strong? So we have to gauge whom we're talking to. That does not mean we dumb it down. It just means that we come at it with a more gentle tone, perhaps more pause, a little more grace, perhaps, and engage in them, even when you're speaking. Ignite the question. Let them ask the question without feeling an idiot because they don't know what you're talking about. And even pose a question to them that they have to answer, so you are engaging them in that conversation. We know you believe in it. We can feel it. Boy, do we feel it, and we want to feel it, because that's even what gives you the time of day. But where are they at in order to listen to you? And I know that we say, get your 30-second elevator pitch down. And yes, have that something that describes you, that says who you are. And there are times when you have just that opportunity in networking. Hi, I'm Sarah Troy from selfdiscoverywisdom.com. I get to interview people from around the world that are making a difference in the lives of others. And now I've branched off into podcast books where we are extending the story through books, summits, and more. I'm talking about my passion and what I do. That lays the ground to whether people want to hear any more. If you are in an arena or where you can speak to someone, you can say, have you ever been on a podcast? You're opening up to that conversation. Have they been? Have they not been? Do they have one themselves? How do you find it? Engage in the conversation. Their participation will show you what you need to say to them and how much running water you need to reveal. So it's very, very important that we listen, that we truly listen in order to be able to speak. And we also have to make sure that our body is speaking as well. Are we moving forward in engagement? If we're sitting back with hands folded, it's basically saying, doesn't matter what you say, mate, I'm not interested. I don't want to be here. If we're moving forward, a tilt of the head, which very often is question, and we're looking eye to eye, we're saying, I'm interested. I'm interested in what you have to say. We have to do just as much hearing in our conversation as we do in the conversation of listening. What do I mean by that? When I'm engaged with the people I interview, I'm hearing what they're saying. It is now inviting me to have a response to what they're saying with something I've experienced or something I'm questioning or something I input. From that, they then input something else. And you're getting layers upon layers upon layers of conversation that is deep-rooted, passionately felt, and very often quite illuminating. This requires you to listen. And my motto is listen, learn, and apply. Because my shows are an hour plus. Oh, you need to be half an hour. Nobody's got the attention span. I'm not for you if you haven't got the attention span. There are plenty of shows are. I'm here to peel back the onions one layer at a time, revealing the core of the person that I'm interviewing so you may know them from the inside out. When you listen, can you feel what they have to say? Are they speaking to you and where you're at? Do you resonate with them? Is there one thing that you said that's become an epiphany or a light bulb? Or I need to know more. This is the reason why we've gone into the books to kind of direct that conversation. Our next book, and we're gathering coaches right now, so if you are one, do inquire, is all about the coaches. Why they're coaching, what style their coaching is, and whom they're here to serve. And it'll be an anthology of coaches, all different walks of life, but they all come from the heart and soul. They're all passionate about what they do because they want to help other people find their wings, shed light on their own beautiful awesomeness, their own beautiful flawsomeness. But in order to serve you, they've also got to listen to you, what you need. You also need to listen to them and what their journey was, how they discovered their beautiful, meaningful purpose, how they are here now to serve you in whatever realm they're serving you in. Because when you hear their story or you hear why they're doing what they're doing or what they're doing in their own self-discovery, it shows you that they are always learning. And when somebody is always learning, always pivoting, always gathering more information, they are a better teacher for you. They're a better supporter, guider, mentor for you. So we have to realize we do speak with every aspect of ourselves. Our eyes, the window to our soul, absolutely. When our eyes are engaged, when they sparkle, we know that that person truly believes in what they have to say. Now, I know that you're saying, well, heck, like, was engaged. He was an eloquent speaker. He knew exactly how to rile people up and make them believe what he had to say. If you hear him speak, and of course I don't speak German, but just watch the rhythm in which he speaks in, he's stirring it up, and he's stirring it up, and he's stirring it up. And the people are gathering more and more and more until they've really forgotten what the words are, but they're caught up in the emotion of it. They're the eloquent speakers that can pull the strings, become the puppeteer. We want the speakers that speak from the heart and soul because they're here to serve you, not self-serving. They're not here to create war, but to find your inner peace. They're not here to hate, but they're here to love and share that love. And you know those people because it doesn't matter how eloquently somebody speaks. How do you feel when they do speak? Not just the words. How do you feel? Do you feel engaged? Do you feel repelled? Do you feel at ease? Do you feel excited or anticipated? What emotion is it promoting from you? Very often we get caught up with the words that are spoken and we get stuck on the word. Words are beautiful, but there are so many words that have been bastized and contorted into something negative when really, let's look at them in the context in which they're spoken. Let's look at them in the energy and the meaning of what they are intending. And let's not get caught up on a word or caught up on a grammar or caught up on something. If you're getting stuck on one little thing, that is a mirror image back to you about where you're at in yourself. You've got hung up on something. That's an emotion that you're hung up on inside. Time to look in. Why do I feel this way? Why is that bothering me so much? Now, yeah, I get bothered by hate rhetoric. I get bothered by people spewing hate and cruelty to others. That tolerance of that kind of talk, though my boundaries won't allow that. There is no hate around me. There's no hate for yourself and no hate for others and no violence around me. I've been there and been caught up in that web. And I know how damning it is, how soul destroying it is. I also have been on that side of trying to heal and trying to rescue people. And it does not work until they of free will wish to be helped. Then we can extend our hand. And all we can do is show them the path. Give them whatever tools you have so that they may walk forward in that light and on their own self-discovery, discover their own beautiful journey. For all the hate and the discord and the violence and even the victims out there, we cannot rescue everybody. But we can collectively, by raising our vibration, by raising our frequency, by raising our voice, not in a shout and a yell, but in compassion and love and good vibrations. We heal more in the resonance of a soft voice, in a resonance of a strong, loving voice, in a resonance of energy of love. And when we target those that are in peril, those that are even committing the crime, following a leader that if they don't, they'll become the victim, or caught up in that rhetoric, the lie. We need to send loving vibrations to them, not hate. People like Putin, Trump, and any other leader out there, and there's so many to talk about, they are little boys trapped in a narcissistic ego trip. And the only way that they feel strong, the only way they feel powerful is by taking from others, not looking at the cost, not looking at the damage, not looking at the pain, They're in so much pain themselves. The only way they know how to resolve that is to take from others, control others. Nothing will ever be enough for them. Nothing will be. You can hand them the entire world. Everybody is submissive to them, and it will not be enough. Because while they're looking for all of that on the outside, they're unable to find the courage and the strength to go in to what's really causing their pain, what's really causing their sorrow. Yes, sometimes it is in the DNA. And you look at the historical DNA of a person or past life of a person, you can see there's a tendency and a thread to go down that road. But 99% of the time, folks, when we look at people that take liberty over others, there is an inner child that is struggling, an inner child that's looking for an identity, an inner child that's lost its voice. And they go about regaining that voice in all the wrong ways. We need to speak to be heard. We need to speak in order for people to listen to us. So how do we engage that? How do we speak? How do we speak to the pain and the conflict within ourselves in a way that people wish to hand that hand of help? It's your journey to walk. It's your journey to heal. All we're here is to give you skills and tools and encouragement and support and cheerleading along the way to let you know you're not alone. If you fall, we'll help you get back up. We'll give you the tools in your backpack of life to travel with that will help you, techniques and skills and all sorts of things. And one may not work. You may have to try a dozen before you find that one. This fits. This makes sense. This I can do. We don't give up on the first try. If it does not work, try and try again. We're not going to have people help us if we're going to slap their hand. We're not going to have people help us if we become bitter and twisted towards them. You have to step to the middle of the road. Dark side of the street, sunny side of the street, middle of the road. And you have to be willing to say, I need help in moving forward. I need help in facing my inner self. I need help in discovering what my meaningful purpose is. I need help to walk away from the anger, the pain, the anguish, the loss, the feeling of worthiness. I need help to do that. I have to let go of the anger, the despair, enough to be able to grab someone's hand where they can start sharing the skills and the tools for you to apply to face that anxiety, that depression, that fear. It isn't about eliminating it because it's always there for a reason. I still suffer from depression from time to time. I get anxious. I just know what tools help me. Tapping is one of them. Music is another. Working is most certainly another. Being around my grandchildren. What lifts me up out of those doldrums? Why do those doldrums come to me in the first place? Why do I get depressed? Sometimes it's spiritual depression, sometimes empathic depression, sometimes physical depression, pain. It's all about discovering what it is and what we can do about it. That onus is on us. We have to make that choice. We have to listen. We have to learn. And we have to apply. So even when you're asking for help, let your tone be one where help is going to be freely given without the fear that you're going to chop the hand off. That's grace. It's okay to say, I feel broken. You're not. You're just discombobulated. I feel lost. We all get lost. I feel alone. We all feel alone. I feel disconnected from life and what I'm here for. That's your self-discovery. Let us help you find your path. Let us help you reconnect to self, to go in, to look at that inner child, to look at all those expectations of you that you did not fulfill and you feel a failure of. They were delusional expectations for a world that is broken, for a world that is not working. We have to change the paradigm. We have to change the narrative. We have to change the programming. But we have to acknowledge the programming that's already there. And by doing that, and by addressing it, we can certainly move forward in how we're going to heal ourselves because of it. So, listen. Are you truly hearing? Don't get stuck on something. And when you're listening to a podcast or watching one, pause. What did they just say? Rewind. Why has that caused something in me? Good or bad? Why has it? Sit with it for a moment. Write it down. Carry on with the conversation. What does it mean to you? Maybe you were only meant to hear that one thing. Maybe everything they're saying is something that's resonating. Maybe there's so much wisdom that's been imparted that it does feel like the full tap. But write it down as you listen and look at which one can I address first. You don't have to do them all at once. But if we're not willing to speak with our body, with our eyes, with our tone, with our heart and our soul and our spirit, our words mean nothing. Speak from the very essence of who you are, why you are, and what you're here to do. Let that speak to people in a way that resonates. One size does not fit all. You may not be everybody's cup of tea. That is okay. You're going to speak to the person who's ready to hear you. You're going to represent that energy that others feel they need. Always be organically authentic to yourself. Always be in self-discovery of yourself. I'm turning 70 in a couple of months. I love what I'm learning about myself daily. Things I thought I couldn't do. Things I acknowledge I can't do. Things I acknowledge that I have become. All of this is the willingness to take the journey, willingness to do the work, willingness to go in, willingness to acknowledge why does that bother me so much, willingness to the empowerment of what we can do and letting go of what we can't, and understanding that raising our frequency to a higher hertz, a higher wavelength, collectively we raise the consciousness of the world, of all living things on it, and we become the healing factor collectively together. But it starts with you. What are you saying? How are you saying it? And to whom are you addressing? And is it organically, authentically true from you? So until next week, folks, I wish you all well. I invite you to listen, to learn, to apply, but truly to hear. Until next time, bye for now. We hope that you enjoyed the show. There are so many more for you here on selfdiscoverywisdom.com. Just go to the podcast tab at the top there and you will see all the many genres and all 3,000 shows ready for your listening. We are here to serve you, to help you on your journey of life, and we know that through inspiration it begets invitation. We are supported by you, the listeners, and those that we interview. Anything that you can spare us in donation would be greatly accepted, and we do hope that you enjoy the next show.